Alright, so it's September 19th, 2021. I'm in a country that waves this flag around, just so we have a set diorama from my complaint into the good people who defend people who are in trouble somewhere in the world for context, so they know who to send the customer service whatever to. Here's the document that I'm mentioning. This was the hospital visit dated June 14th, 2021, where the ambulance was called by Lewis, or however that happened, and they, the police were here as well, and they just put me on an ambulance and sent me away. So that was 06142021. Now I know that there is a process where in order to have quantifiable statistical data, you have to have two sets. You have to have, I don't know the proper word for it. Really, I don't, because I don't know what area is using this, and I don't want to give area outside of area I need words in a language that are then searchable and become even bigger of a problem. So I have two sets of numbers for running blood and letters that somehow create some kind of matrices. I mean, the local North American doctors have no fucking clue. Alright, so now, on this date, which is June 14th, 2021, I had this was this. So on June 14th at 9:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I had a an auto neutrophil percentage of 62.7. I had an auto lymphocyte percentage of 28.2. All of a sudden, the clock strikes June 15th, 2021 in their database system at 1:10 a.m. That's the change. And then all of a sudden, my neutrophils jump to 71.4, and my autolymphocytes jump to 18.7. So within a matter of, let's see here, we've got 9 to 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, in about 3.5 hours, my neutrophil count went from 62 to 71. And my lymphocytes went from 28 down to 18. So now, I was received by the hospital. I don't even think they have an intake time on this paperwork. Yeah, there's no intake time on this particular set of data. They just ended, and the job number is, job ID is 8971928. I don't know if they stuck me with something, because neutrophils and lymphocytes are part of the WBC. They're part of your white blood count. That much I know. And so but what's weird is that it has the 4-letter code auto, AUTO. That's not something when they teach in medical school or as a medic, when you take anatomy physiology, they don't teach it with the word AUTO. So that is something specifically categorized for the machine process of whatever Northwell Health is using. It also says there's an EGFR if I'm non-African American of 9-1, and EGFR if African American of 105. Well, how the hell is the fucking machine supposed to tell? Just curious. My platelet count on automated is way too high, but that's the plat. That's my radiological plat map of how many times have I been penetrated and hit into. It also says that on one of these, my red cell morphology is abnormal. That tends to happen the more you keep me in this disgusting geospatial nightmare with a health commissioner the wrong color, and some New York City educator the wrong color, and the archdiocese being run by the wrong color. So I've got a Gayle King representative, although the Birmingham, Gil Birmingham, the one that's on the Yellowstone, Kevin Costner in Yellowstone, he's a darker hue, more in the medium brown closet. Scott Gottlieb looks just like the Birmingham gentleman on Face the Nation this week. I don't know if maybe his ammonia levels are too high, but whatever it is, he looks just as dark on television. So I'm not going into low brown, medium brown, high brown. It just is whatever it is. But I have a big problem because I don't have any representatives on machine statistics. In fact, the shitbag that stuck me and took the machine results is this person. And it was while they had me knocked out because they knew I would not give over a blood sample readily. I don't want you taking my blood. I don't want you researching my blood, my geospatial specialness. I don't want any of it. I don't want any of your engineered products. But yet in New York State, for some reason, under this shitbag, we'll do it our way, they do all sorts of fucked up shit. And there's not one, legislator that's my genetic genealogy that could stand up for me and say, not my kid? You're not touching my kid? Like, I gotta protect my kid? My genes are a gateway into your children's genes if we look like we're related. So why the hell would you allow me to be compromised in the field and stuck by these fucking shitbags that aren't me and aren't somebody else that's important somewhere in the world? I know I'm not important to anybody, got that much. It's clear as fucking day. But my blood results, it's a big problem that within 3.5 hours, I have a gigantic jump in neutrophils and I have a gigantic lag in leukocytes. It's a big problem that I have a red cell morphology going on. Further, my platelet count has been at an extreme count for quite some time now. Let's see, what else do I have? What else did I notice on here? Oh, and I know this is important to somebody somewhere in shitbags I fucking hate. This is that therapeutic shit. Here, blood alcohol, negative. and niacinamide, blah, 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 negative. Whatever that is, below it's whatever, because I don't take anything. Then I've got all these, what is this, THC, everything came back negative on the 14th of June. Oxycodone, all the stuff that the shitbag law enforcement company seems to care about more than anything, because they love to pigeonhole you into a mental disease or a drug abuse case for some reason. No, shitbag. I'm being abused by so many different facilities, including the humans that I fell out of the vagina with, that have done nothing for me good in my entire life. And I need some, like, real medic help, but, like, not the kind underneath the current health commissioner that has a commercial on TV that says that the 7 bioengineered shots that my parents like hit me with when I was younger, and all the allergy shots my mother hit me with in order to, like, they used to hit me with needles to see if it would blow up like a fucking pincushion. That's child abuse. In what court of law are my parents allowed to be parents? I'm just curious. Who allows an allergist to shoot up your arm to see if it causes an effect? Take a fucking sample and do it on, like, some sample paper or whatever the hell it's called. I mean, blot paper, whatever. I mean, it's so disgusting what you shitbag Americans have allowed to continue while I've been here for 43 years. It's disgusting. So now, and then you say something, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Do you have your head on straight? I'm just curious. Because, like, this way that North America and New York State's been leading itself without any kind of governance or help is a real big problem. I didn't sign up for being a genetic testing cushion in some genetic testing kitchen with some social engineering whack job that I don't know, I can't name. I have no idea what their face looks like. I don't know how the hell to get out of it. And then there's this whole thing that Americans say, trust in God. They write it on their money, not that I have any of it. And I know that there's something called a trust fund baby, TRUSTFUND. How do they get funded? And how do you find out if you are one, but somehow you were never given access to those funds? Just curious. Because I don't have access to anything to get the fuck out of the country. I don't have access to anything to survive in the country. And currently, my health is not doing well at all under the Gayle King fraudulent with Gil Bingham color mixed in with some Scott Gottlieb color, running some kind of anarchist show in some part of some nation that claims that they're here. What is this Fed thing again? Because I saw that the Bingham guy was, not the Bingham guy, but the other American actor, which looks more Central American, not so much Northeastern Seaboard American, just to be clear. So now, I saw that they were doing something. I mean, it is just like, how do you communicate that I'm not one of you, and I need some real serious help? And everywhere I look on advertising on television lately, now that I'm looking for it, it's all of these people in charge of really serious health things, and it's blood banking now. It's like they use the blood donations, they use these innocent victims that walk into the hospitals, and they just do all sorts of really nasty things saying that they're helping them and making them more healthy. I mean, it's a mental disease and a sickness all within itself. And they all think that they're like really good people. I really think a nuclear war specialist is the way to go with this one, kiddos. Because I really think it's like living in crazy town. I'm like, we're not kindred. Why would I want you to touch my body? You're a creepy old man if you think I'm taking my clothes off and you're going to go do a body inspection. Absolutely fucking not. I mean, like, this is not rocket science, kids. But yet, like, you ask the regular person and they're just like, I don't know, Rashid was the guy that they said was the general practitioner. I mean, I'm the better. I had a call and finally I got a Patel. There was like, I don't know, 150 Patels to choose from. I took the longest name that started with an N. Really dark-skinned guy. Didn't touch me inappropriately, stayed away, and whatever. Just prescribed me stuff when I did my own self-diagnosis and went to him and said I need a prescription. Done. Other than that, it's like, don't touch. Don't touch. I don't want to be friends. I'm leaving. That's the extent of the doctor care around here. So, I don't know what future you think you're building for humanity, but it doesn't exist. Not in New York. And not under this social engineering project. It's a complete failure. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's solar system, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. Tia-Frio, 1975, had a friend by the name of Bobby Gordon who worked for some firm as something called an SEO. He said it was a social engineer something or other, and I can't remember what the O stood for. And I'm like, all right, what does that mean, Bobby? And he's like, I'm not sure yet. He said, but he got hired by some company around Concoma. And then that was the last I ever heard of Bobby. So, I don't have any idea if they were looking into something for me, but finally it was somebody my color, because apparently Frank Falco got sent to intercept me somehow, and then he moved in with me, and then he worked at a company called Adecco, Adecco, where you walked into the building, there was like one milk white guy, look whiter than I am, and then it was like a whole sea floor full of Gayle King and the medium brown and dark brown, well, medium to dark brown representatives. And I'm like, where the hell did all these people come from? Where do they live? It's Long Island. Why are there so many of them on Long Island? How did they get here? And they're all in computer, and they said they were in the employment industry. Employment, huh? So that's what they're calling social engineering when they fuck over all the white kids? So is that how you purposely sat in Melville, Melville? They sat there for a long time before the office was closed. Frank Falco was a business analyst there, which I don't know what the hell that meant. But when he went to work and on his off time on his cell phone, it was always a Gayle King color representative. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Same shitbags that think that they're like medical doctors in the local area and that they're in charge of health, welfare, and security for some reason. I can tell you they have not done a good job and they should all die and pay for their crimes. For sure. I'm living proof. Look at this. My ammonia level is so high and my counts are so off. And the machine stats seem to keep changing to hide other dangerous inter-machine woven things with varying computer models depending on how honest they want to be about just how much damage they are doing to my genetic and my genealogy type of people. And they're able to access the entire genetic database from one remote location anywhere in the fucking world, which is why I don't know why you would teach them sequencing, coding, or computers. I would have cut their hands off, but humans aren't so smart, apparently. It's September 19th, 2021. It's Nicole Cattaruzza, and it's star 1978, star 8378.